Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Printing Bureau. Before we get into this session, just to say that this is not financial advice, guys. This is just what I'm doing and I'm sharing it. So take it with a pinch of salt and make sure that the decisions you come to are your own decisions and be accountable for it. Just drink a bit of water. Okay, so let's get into it. So this week I'm just going to be focusing on cryptos. So cryptos video for the first time, for first video. But before we get into crypto, I want to just look at the Dixie, right? Because Dixie and cryptos are kind of like intercorrelated. If one goes up, the other comes down most of the time. My view on the dollar is the dollar is topped out. And I think if you look at my trend line there, it's been trying to break above the trend line, but it's not really been able to do that convincingly. Try to close above it, rejected. Close above it, try to go, rejected. Right here is the same scenario. Try rejected. Right, it's been rejected against this line several times. 1, 2, 3, and to be honest, when you keep getting rejected, chances are, normally the third time you tend to be lucky and it breaks through, but it didn't. So I do expect this to continue going down, the dollar to continue going down. So the dollar is topped out and it will continue going down for me. If you look on the daily chart, it's kind of doing exactly that, so I expect it to continue going down. So with that in mind, of course, now let's go and look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, the most interesting part of Bitcoin for me is the CME gap, right? So these are the big traders, right? The big money traders, and you can see there's a gap. So there's a gap here, there's a gap. So that's 62 to here. So if we go to 4 hours, you see the gap even much better. There you go. So we do have a gap between here and here, and I do expect this gap to be closed. So I expect Bitcoin's bottom price for the week target is, I think I would say 60,000 or 61,000, between 60 and 61,000. And I will then say that Bitcoin continues to go up based on the daily chart. And if I go back to the usual Binance perpetuals chart, and you can see that our daily chart is looking really bullish. So we've broken above that trend line. Yes, we will come back, come back into it, but I do expect this to continue to go up. So Bitcoin, I do expect after the pull down to go up and maybe test the 65,000. So the 200 moving average on 4 hours will be an area to test. Because what you've basically done is you've risen here. That's one rise there. Done 2. Where's my third level rise? I expect it to be higher. So I expect it to be somewhere here, 65,000 after the pullback. So with that in mind, of course, we can look at some of the coins that I'm playing around with, on some of the altcoins. The first one I want to talk about is IMEX. So IMEX is a trading coin I'm trading. So if we look at IMEX, you can see that IMEX on the weekly chart is looking very bullish. So we have a very bullish candle there, and if I just make this here, you can see we've got a bullish candle there. Buyers are stepping into the market at the moment. So if you go to the 3-day chart, you can see you've got divergences forming all over. If you go to daily chart, you can see that we seem to have a kind of a one bottom here, which is 1454. Then we come 142. Then we've come 1432. So I do expect us to sling up. I mean, this initial move to the upside, which was rejected on the trend line, is my level 166. We need to go above 166. So I do expect this move up to take us to at least the 170 to 180 mark, and that will be my target for the week. If you want to buy, I think aiming for somewhere around the 146, 147. Below that, I think anything below that is a gift, and it's one that I'll probably be taking. So that is for IMEX for you. Let's go and look at the other coin. Say is the other coin that I'm trading as well. So let's go and look at Say, right? So Say, let's look at Say here. Right, there we go. Get rid of that, and then let's have a look. As I say, it's also looking very bullish. On the daily chart, you can see you've fallen here, you've come back into it, you've come back into it again twice, and you can see clearly buyers are stepping in, buyers are buying here, buyers are buying there, buyers are buying there. And if you put a trend line on top of it, we've broken. If I just put a trend line from here, down through there and through here, you would say is broken the back of it. So somewhere there, we've broken the back of it. So the 4 we've broken through, we've come back and we've done a retest, and off we go, right? So I do expect this to continue going up. I mean, for an entry point, I think 5% of your 10% or 5% of your account here is not a bad idea, but I think if you can get it somewhere here around the 330, 329 area, then it's a great entry for you, right? And it slings you up. I mean, my up target is that it rises to between 3.7 and 4 and 0.4. So 3.7 and 0.4 is where I'm expecting this to rise. So 3.8 area all the way to 4.0 is where I'll expect us to land. I think we could even go higher, to 4.2, but that is safe for you there. So let's look at the other coin I've got, which is ARPA. So ARPA is another one I'm trading. So ARPA is also looking very interesting. On the weekly chart, you can see we've got a bullish candle there on the weekly chart. So this is really good. I think for an entry point, I think if you can get somewhere around 435, 4, I think that's not too bad an entry point. And I do expect this to go up. So we did go up to 0.5. I expect that to be exceeded. So I've got my profit target here on 0.536 on ARPA. I think that's 0.536. I think actually it can go up a bit more. I move it to 0.56 as a target point. So that will be for ARPA for the week. Now let's look at the other coin that I've got, which I want to talk about, which is BOBA. So BOBA is another one I'm buying as well. So BOBA I think is upstairs. It's a bit up here. BOBA, there we go. So BOBA is also looking very interesting on the daily chart. So you're falling and falling and falling, as you can see by the trend line. A trend line there, and we've exceeded the trend line, broken above the trend line, and I do expect this to continue going up. I mean, if you're lucky, you could get a wick back here to 3, 4 area, and I think if I'm starting to buy now, I probably would say yes. Put 5% here, 5% of your account if you're trading, and then I'll put 10% somewhere here, and then I'll put my 15% somewhere there. You may not get all of it filled, but at least that gives you a really good entry for the slingshot. My up target for BOBA this week is between 0.27 and 0.30. So I do expect that to be hit this week. So that's a target for BOBA. Let's go on to reindeer. It's another coin which I want to buy. I haven't bought any reindeer yet. So but looking at the daily chart, I think if I go to the weekly chart, actually makes it much easier to explain. So weekly chart, I mean, I think there is more falling to come on reindeer. I think even if I'll buy here somewhere around $6 is where I'll buy. I would definitely not buy at this price. I think there is still more of a correction on it. I normally I would be, looking to buy a bit closer to, the 50 moving average, or somewhere here is where I'll be looking to kind of buy. I don't have a clear divergence here on the weekly. I mean, we do have something on the daily, so we had it here and it's gone up. We've gone up. Here we went up to 826, and yeah, I think we could potentially go up first. So we could go up to maybe $9 first, and then pull it back in again. So if I'll be looking to buy, if it gets below that $6 mark, I think it would be a great place to start accumulating some reindeer. But if you want to trade, of course, yes, you pick a trade somewhere here around the 740, 730 area, maybe 750, and then you run it all the way to $8, $9. I think that's not a bad trade. So that is the view on reindeer. Another one I want to be buying is BONK. So if we go to BONK, BONK is another one I want to be buying. I really like the setup on BONK because you can see we've got a weekly divergence, so that is a clear sign for me. I like it. I think maybe we pull back down a little bit into maybe somewhere here 214. So BONK could fall to the 214 area. It could also come down all the way here to 1992, and as you can see, I've got my buy price somewhere there, 1962. So but I think if you want exposure, I think you've been buying at this price. There's nothing wrong with it. Maybe 5%, 2% of your account here, and then maybe you look for 10% somewhere in the middle of the body of the candle, and then maybe you put all your 15%, with the rest of your soldiers, somewhere down there. I think that's not a bad place to, obviously, a bad structure in terms of buying. And I think it hits the 0.25 mark before the end of the week. I think BONK does that. So that's my kind of a prediction on BONK. And then I do also have ONDO. So ONDO is one that I want to be buying for my spot bag because of the real narrative, real world assets narrative. So that's something that I'm keen to also get exposure to on my portfolio. So I mean, it's looking good here. We've got a double bottom on the weekly chart. I think if you step back to the daily chart, you can see buyers are stepping in, big buyers are stepping in buying this, right? So I think, yeah, maybe if you're lucky, you pick somewhere here around 110, or if you're very lucky, you pick it around 106. So between 106 and 110, 106, 110 to 115 is a buy zone for me. So 115, I'll probably buy 5% of my account. Somewhere here, 110, I buy 10%, and then here I buy 15%. For my spot bag. So that'll be my spot bag for that one. So that's ONDO for you as well. So those are the only coins I want to cover this week. I mean, I haven't covered PEPE. PEPE is another one that I'm following closely to see whether I get some exposure to PEPE. But PEPE on the weekly chart is also looking quite good. So we've got a green candle there, which is good. It's kind of broken above the trend line. If we go on the daily chart, we are above the trend line, so which is great. We pulled back in as well, and maybe we pull back in again somewhere here, maybe 11. PEPE around the 1050. 1050 somewhere back here, 1055. So if I'm buying, I'll probably buy my first stake somewhere here, 1130, and then I'll buy another stake somewhere here, which will be 1050. So that will be my plan. And of course, my target for this week is 14. PEPE will get 1.4, so 1.4 will be a great place. Yeah. So that's PEPE for you. I think that's all the coins I wanted to talk about this week. So I wish you all the best this week. and I will give you an update probably during the week if anything comes up which is of interest. Have a beautiful week and God bless.